What's up, Starcraft fans? Today we're doing the tier list for Death from Below on Minor Evac. Brian, let's hear the mutation.
Minor Evac is the map where we have to fight our way to the evac ships, and defend them from the infested as they launch. We have to successfully defend 5 ships to win. On brutal difficulty, we lose the game if we lose more than 1 ship. Widow mines and spider mines are all over the field. All enemies, including the mines, set the ground on fire when they die. Lava erupts from the ground randomly.
Okay, so we have Eviling and Punhome in the call with us today. How are you guys?
Doing good. Glad shows like South Park exists.
Okay, so Ed Punhome, how do we rank the commanders this week?
The big thing is how well can you kind of be stationary, oftentimes in the air. On this map, basically every ship has airspace behind the objective you're trying to defend. So if you're able to just sit in that airspace, you don't have to worry about lava burst. You don't have to worry about the ground burning. So all you really have to do is clear the mines, and the mutation just plays like normal, pretty much from there. So that's a big deal. Being able to clear the first ship area a little bit early is nice on this mutation, because if you can't, then about half the time the ship is going to instantly die as soon as it activates to a bunch of spider mines. And so being able to do that's nice. But you can always lose the first ship and just hold the rest, so it's not 100% essential. It's just nice to have that fallback if you need it.
Alright, what do you think, Eviling?
Spider mines are definitely a thing, but also widow mines are also a thing. And you need to have detection in order to clear it, or some way to clear it without detection. Some commanders can do that, not all of them can. Some will struggle very much with that. Yep, having air is going to be helpful, but there's a degree of helpfulness. Lava burst is a huge issue against air that occupies a lot of physical space. You never underestimate how much damage lava bursts can do to a large unit.
Okay, so let's begin. Abathur, where do we have him?
Abathur, he is going to have a little problems because early brutalist farming is going to be a little tricky with the mines around. Now, what you can do is look for the pockmarks. All the mines that come in clumps, so they'll have several spider mines and several widow mines. If you see a pockmark that looks out of place, that's usually a widow mine, and you can actually use your toxic nest to clear them, because once you place a toxic nest, the spider mine's not going to trigger on or anything, and they could potentially just blow it up. The thing is, if you blow them up and let's say a locust spawns, then that could actually cause more things to trigger, and that's not a bad thing. But in some ways, that might it could trigger on unknowingly if you're trying to snake your drone through or something like that. So just be mindful of that. Otherwise, once you get started and once you can get your swarm host going, then it can become somewhat of a standard affair. You're gonna have to bring your overseers nearby. It's not easy. So long story short is Abathur's, to me, for this is A to B.
A to B.
He's not fantastic, but he can get it done.
Okay. What do you think, Ed Punhome?
Yeah, I had Abathur in A. I agree that the early farming is going to be tough, but he does have a pretty good air comp and Vipers to shut down any enemy units that actually make it onto the objective. And he does have flying detection, which is nice. But yeah, Guardians obviously aren't the best against the small guys, but I think he'll do well enough. So he's not perfect, but he's pretty good. So I had him in A. Do you want me to give my spiel again?
Both of you had Abathur in A. Let's put Abathur in A. Prestige-wise, second one? Or no prestige?
You're not really going locus, and you don't really need deep tunnel visionless or anything like that. So I'd probably just say P0.
Okay, no prestige. Let's put Abathur in A tier. Alarak, where do we have him?
Alarak's main problem really is that you are going to have to deal with havoc detection, but it's not that big of a deal as long as you're careful. And one of the nice things on this map with Minesweeper is that it's not actually that difficult. You get to pre-clear the areas before you have to deal with infested most of the time, and it's not really a difficult clearing map, like Rifts to Core Hall or something like that, where you're having to fight large armies. Oh, and now there's mines and spider mines and everything. On minor evac, there's really not a whole lot of defenses in any given area, so you're able to clear the area pretty well, and then just mass destroyer mothership can pretty much handle everything else. So I had him in A tier.
Okay. What do you think, Eveling?
I usually don't like having mothership around for lava bursts. If you get caught in a certain situation between mines and a lava burst, you can lose most of your death fleet like real quick. In my opinion, Alarak is if you're careful, you can make P3 work, but I think P1 would be the better choice for this. So, like, you have these mines, you have these lava bursts. With P1, you want to power up your mech, and you don't have to worry about like sacrificing supplicants because the lava bursts and mines do that for you like almost automatically. You go for Wrathwalkers, and as long as you have good about having your Havocs out, it should be almost kind of a standard affair for P1, other than you're going to have to dance around a lot of lava bursts, and then once you see the mine patches, just let the Wrathwalkers do their thing to it. And in terms of crowd control or mass crowd control, you can use vanguards for that. So with a combination of vanguards and Wrathwalkers, you should be able to handle this pretty good. The hard part is going to be the first ship, trying to keep that alive. Yeah, you may have to just get your Havoc. You definitely have to get your Havoc out early and look to see if there are mines nearby. And yeah, if they all trigger on that ship, they just might be SOL and you have to move on. But if you can, if you can use Alarak's destruction wave to kind of push mines away. Granted, you do not just send Alarak directly into it. It's definitely not S. A to B is, I think he's kind of the same place as Abathur.
Okay, both of you had Alarak in A. Let's put our Alarak in A. What interesting choice to go for Wrathwalkers on a map like Minor Evac. Some would say that's a little bit of overkill against Infested, don't you think?
That's what
That's what you said.
overkill against some of the infested. Against mines, you want those things dead quick, and yeah.
I guess
Spider
that
mines,
makes sense.
overkill. Or the widow mines, no, not overkill. I think one shot to kill a widow mine and move on to the next one is a good, and they fire fast enough in P1. Yeah, I think that's not that big of a problem.
How many Wrathwalkers do you need?
For me, once you get 3 to 4, that's pretty much good for the rest of the game.
All right,
as long as you are good about powering them up.
I was concerned that you were suggesting to make like 10 or more Wrathwalkers in a map or in a mutation
That's
with
like,
lava burst. kind of sketchy, if you ask me.
Yeah, you don't want a big army for this. Lava burst causes a lot of problems, and the problems with Ratwalkers, they go down fast to lava bursts. I mean, just same problem as having a mothership out.
So what do you use the rest of
Depends
your
on what.
supply on as Alarak?
I usually use it on supplicants and vanguards.
Wouldn't it be easier to just go for Death Fleet though, behind the airspace, like Edwin said?
As I said, if you get caught in a rough spot between widow mine or mine patches and a lava burst, it
Teleport.
wasn't. You can, as long as the teleport's not on cooldown. But I think it makes better sense to just stay with your ground force, so that way you have things that are kind of with your havoc to kind of keep it safe. Because I mean, with so much stuff flying around, you want to make sure the area around your havoc stays safe. You lose your havoc, you lose your chance, or lose that detection for clearing minefields. So
So let's put Alarak in A tier. Arcturus, where do you have him?
Arcturus S. As soon as you capture the middle, your expo, much he can keep the ship safe with ESOs and anything you want to drop down, whether it's bunkers, royal guards. Keep it safe, clear the mines. It's pretty S to me.
All right, pretty S, as opposed to the other thing. What do you think, Edwin?
Yeah, he's definitely S. You can also, I mean, ESOs in the main base can hit like the first 3 ships, basically, pretty much guaranteed. So you can just kind of salvage them and move them to the natural after you get that cleared. But you can still use them at the start, and then yeah, you just drop like a bunker in front of the ship. It's only a 2x2, so it's not actually that likely for it to get hit by lava burst, and it provides enough tanking for any aberrations or anything that may get there. Go P1, I would say, because you can just spam out
Contaminated Strike.
Contaminated Strike, that's the word.
It's 2 words.
Enemies take it's a lot of really low health enemies, so the damage over time there is very helpful, and the fear is obviously very helpful. So
Yes.
S tier.
All right, both of you have Arcturus in S tier. Let's put him in S tier. What do you think about third prestige instead of the first one?
I think you can. It's just like you're mainly using ESOs. You're not. I guess you had the panic drop then of dropping a trooper on the point and exploding, but I don't think it ever is going to come to that. And you don't really need nuclear annihilation. There's not waves that are singularly large. There's just a lot of little stuff, and so nuclear annihilation kills 10 seconds of a 2-minute defense.
You know the bonus
It's not that
fans
helpful.
are spamming angrily in the chat right now about nothing to nuclear annihilation.
That's
It's fine, doesn't matter. But
You don't need nuclear annihilation for the bonus.
bonus doesn't matter.
you can
either.
just ESO them as well, anyways, right? So
Dogs of War should clear the eradicators, no problem, in just one go.
Provided there aren't any mines there.
Mines. Exactly. But even if there are mines, you just contaminate your strike until the mines are gone, and then drop your Dogs of War.
All right. Okay, so both of you have Arcturus in S tier. Let's put him in S tier. Artanis, where do we have him?
Artanis is going to have a little bit more of a struggle because his air units aren't quite as good at this map as some of the others. Like Tempest's obviously very long range, but they're so slow they're not really going to be able to clear. Your best area damage is Zealots and or Storm, but those are both ground based, so you are going to have to dodge things. He does have pretty good detection in the form of observers that can also insta warp in. But he's not going to be carrying by any means, so I had him in C tier.
C tier. What do you think, Eviling?
I should say Guardian Shell as well does help a lot with Lava Burst, but
all right,
hopefully you're not having to do that anyways.
Yes. What do you think, Eviling?
Yeah, I have Artanis from B to C, mainly because minor evacuation is not his S map, and the Guardian Shell is very nice for you and ally, but also to shield overcharge. So in terms of which prestige to use, I think you can make any of them work. All of them are not phenomenal against minor evacuation, just the map itself.
Yeah.
E.T. Ponum said instant warp in observers are very, very good to have, especially if allies has a commander that has detection problems. So yeah, B to C.
B to C. Both of you agree with C. Let's put Artanis in C. Prestige wise, you're saying not the third one because you want Garden Shell for this one.
It
Well,
doesn't
like
matter,
Evelyn said,
I
you
think.
can do the other one as well. But I mean, Guardian Shell is active at any time, whereas
Shield overcharge.
Barrier is
Yeah.
overcharge is only there for a relatively short amount of time, and it's targeted at that point, so you're not hitting you and your allies' army a lot of the time,
Okay.
unless they're standing on each other. But you could go either one, P3 or P0, really.
Okay. Let's move on. Dehaka. Where do we have him?
Dehaka has the problem of early detection, but the other aspect he has P2, which is a huge saving grace where you don't necessarily have to do early farming with the Dehaka. So if it wasn't for P2, Dehaka would be pretty low. But I think as long as at the very beginning you can try to do some farming, but if you lose, don't be surprised if you lose Dehaka to a random minefield. And in that case, focus on getting your macro going so you can get your pack leaders out quicker. And from there, it becomes, I wouldn't say a standard Dehaka game, but you can do quite a bit. And once you get Creeper Host, then it's kind of like pseudo Minx. So, in my opinion, S to A for Dehaka. More leaning toward A.
Okay. What do you think, Edmund?
Yeah, I had him in A tier because of the early game. His later game, you have Guardians who can sit in safety, and his Guardians actually deal splash damage, so they're a little better for the infested than Dehakas. And Mutalisk obviously are killer against air, so a little mixed air comp there is going to deal with everything nice and easy. It's just making it there, but it shouldn't be too bad. I mean, even if you have to sack the first ship, you get then quite a long time before you have to defend ship 2. So I had him in A tier. I don't think he's quite S, but just because of the early game, but A tier.
Okay. Both of you had Dehaka in A tier. Let's put Dehaka in A tier. Prestige wise, second one? Or do you want the third one for double the slap?
I'd probably go
Third one doesn't make
second
sense.
one because the main area you're getting hamstrung in is the early game, and P3 is going to get double hamstrung in the early game.
So you want second one.
I'd say so, yeah.
All right. Let's move on. Fenix, where do you have him?
Fenix, I think, is going to be relatively good. He has just shell farm and commanders or heroes, so you don't have a large army, and you have a very fast replenishing army if anyone does die. Caldalis obviously shreds infested like nobody's business, and you have very good detection in terms of the Arbiter suit as long as you keep it safe, but you can basically just float the Arbiter suit directly over the ship. You won't get lava bursted, and then you detect anything you need to detect, like the Banshees and whatnot. And then obviously for clearing, he's very good as well. So he's not... I didn't want to quite put him in S, but I had him in A tier.
Okay. A tier. What do you think, Eveling?
Yeah, I have Phoenix from A to B. Standard affair for P2 Phoenix, or I mean, you can rock any of his procedures. Just be careful about trying to get in and trying to clear the areas without detection. If you see the marks, then make sure to have Arbor Suit ready. P1 is nice because Arbor Suit is on a very low cooldown. You can bring it out as long as you don't lose it. P2, just the killing power of your champions, and P3 just send wave after wave of clearing and not really care that things die because it's just fueling Avenging Protocol. A to B.
We agree to go Robo first here, right? We need the detection and we need the long range Colossus to clear the mines, right?
I mean, Disruptor
would be ideal.
Question mark?
What?
Disruptors can work.
Sure, but
Yeah,
Robo
Disruptors.
first,
Mostly me,
regardless.
They can. Yeah, I think Robo first makes sense.
All right. Oh, I was just afraid that one of you would say, no, actually, Gateway first. Caldi can still fight the Minesweeper. Okay. A good thing we're not saying that. Okay.
No.
So, I'm slightly disappointed in you, Evil Lane, because you had a chance to say you chose Phoenix to use Rock on, Rock a Prestige on, not Dehaka, which is slightly disappointing. You should have used, you can choose to Rock and your
What?
Prestige when we're talking about Dehaka. So, slightly disappointed. Let's move on. Oh wait, Phoenix
That doesn't
is
make sense.
A tier, right? Both of you said A, or is it B?
Yeah.
A, right? Okay, let's move on. Han and Horner, where do you have them?
On and Horner, so they're good for getting out early detection. You can get a Raven early. Now the problem is you don't want to be losing that Raven early just because if it's a non P2, you're gonna be low on charges for your Ravens. So if you're not playing P2, be very wary about that. But with that being said, I would suggest P2 for this. Air units, your if not the sovereign battle cruisers, you can definitely make very good use of the Asteria wraiths. And yeah, strike fighters are very good against dealing with mine patches. So, in my opinion, A to B.
A to B. Why didn't you mention the landed Vikings? Aren't they somewhat usable against infested?
You can use them against the infested, but I think for this, you're better off going using the Asteria race for clearing because you can cloak them and they can get in and start dealing with mines because mines usually don't have detection that come with them unless there's static detection nearby or an overlord, overseer nearby.
The enemy or the
And
ship areas usually have enemy detection in them, so I would be careful about setting my rates in there.
yeah,
Maybe snipe the detection first. Snipe the turrets first using your air strikers,
yes,
and be sure that there aren't any overseers
yes.
before sending your rates in. All right. So, what do you think, Epihame?
Yeah, I mean, I would probably make 1 to 2 pairs of the Vikings if you're comfortable with the micro requirements for that, because you do have to keep a little bit more of an eye on them. You can lift and fly away if you need to, if there's a lava burst or whatever, but they're just going to shred the basic infested, and then your battle cruisers can handle, or the wraiths can handle flying units and aberrations and hybrid and all of that. But yeah, P2 I think will be pretty good here. Yeah, I'd put them in A tier.
A tier. Oh, did you say A tier, Eveling, or did you not get to that before I moved on?
A to B.
A to B. Okay, both of you
I said
have
A to B.
Hot and Horn in A. Let's put Hot and Horn in A. Hey, not bad showing for Hot and Horn this week. Oh wait, Prestige wise second one, right? You both agree on second Prestige?
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
yes.
Karax, where do we have him?
Karax is S tier for me, flying units and top bar, so you can just kind of sit back in the safe zones, clear with Solar Lance, set the ground on fire, obviously. It's pretty straightforward and easy. Top bars and observers to clear the mines ahead of time, and easy S.
Okay, how about Eveling?
Yep. S to A for Karax. Space lasers good. Just be careful not to lose your observers, but if you do, you still can kind of blind fire solar lance, orbital strikes, and just kind of look where the pock marks are. Once you clear that, you only got spider mines left, and you could send in your sentinels, and they got double life. So yeah,
Okay,
it's pretty
Prestige wise,
easy.
which one do you want here?
P3
You
or
go
P2.
for 3.
Third
yeah.
one? Alright, third Prestige. Karax goes in S tier. Pretty easy S, actually. Kerrigan, where do you have him?
Kerrigan, so you're gonna need to get your Omega Worms out early or Overseer out early to spot the mines. And even if you do spot the mines, if you're not P3, you don't have that great of options to deal with them. So there's that. Once you can start getting going, then your best bet for mine clearing is either going to be brood lords or lurkers. And with that being said, that's a little funny with lava burst around. So
Yes.
P3 is probably going to be your best bet for this. She's okay, but I think she's going to have a few issues with this. For me, it's going to be B to C, I think.
B to C. What do you think, Edmund
Um, I would not have said B to C. I was thinking more like A tier. I think Kerrigan herself is going to be quite strong here. The mines are the only real issue in the early game, but once you can get out, just like a few Hydralisks to outrange them, you have Omega Worms for detection and a good bit of tankiness as long as you don't get hit by Lava Burst. And then in the later game, you have Broodlords, which will basically infinitely stall the objective. And Kerrigan is very good at dodging Lava Bursts as long as you're not P3, which would be probably the argument to not go P3. But even if you are, you can still just duck in and out of Omega Worms. And as long as you have 3 or 4 of those up, you can spawn them in as often as you need. I'd say A tier.
What do you think about A, Eviling?
I'm fine with A. Just she does line up with Alarak, Abathur, where you got to be careful, and I see that, but I think my last time this mutation rolled around, I felt Kerrigan was just a little. She didn't feel as easy as Alarak, Abathur, Fenix, Dehaka, definitely Han and Horner. Yeah, so a little reluctant, but I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't be opposed to going to A.
If you guys asked me, which you didn't, but I'll give my opinion anyway, just because this is my video. My opinion is, if you're a Kerrigan, you can sacrifice the first ship if your ally can't open a path to it, but the second ship, you can wait until 12 minutes to launch it. And between Kerrigan's initial spawn time and 12 minutes, you can do, I think, 1 or 2 immobilization waves. And last I checked, immobilization wave is incredible at clearing Widow Mines and Spider Mines. Did something change since then?
No.
So
maybe Tango released a unknown patch. Who knows?
So Kerrigan's amazing at Spider Mines in this mutation because you don't really need to rush more than 2 ships. You can sacrifice the first one and just wait until mobilization wave before clearing the second one, right? So
yes,
is that not A?
I mean,
compared
I said
to commanders that don't have to sacrifice the first ship or has tools to go after the first ship pretty well.
I guess. All right, because if
question mark,
if I'm gonna go Kerrigan here, I will just kind of power up behind my base and not really bother with the first ship. If I can open a path to it, I'll help defend it. But if there are Widow Mines between me and the first ship's gone, I'll just power up until the mobilization wave, and then I'll clear the mines, and then I'll play Mutalisks or Dude Lords or even Lurkers if I feel like it. But I don't see her having any particular losing situations unless the aberrations just right click the ships and then it dies. So yeah. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Both of you are okay with A, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, let's put Kerrigan in A. Prestige-wise, in my opinion, you need a powerful mobilization wave. So I just rule out the second one, but the rest I think are okay. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
You probably don't really want to go P1, but I mean, it would probably even be fine. Although
it might be fine depending on how far you can get creep in a mutation with Lava Burst. Anyway, let's move on. Nova, where do we have him?
Nova is S tier because Liberators and Ravens exist, and you can just park them where they will never take damage, and easy clear. And you have Nova in front of them. She has Blink, so she can easily get away from any lava burst she needs to. And she also is pretty early detection. You again might lose the first ship. You can kind of get a Raven over there early enough to clear, but I mean, even if you do, you're going to have zero problems for the rest of it, so it doesn't really matter. You don't need the fallback as Nova, so I had her in S.
What do you think, Eveling?
Yeah, Nova's S to A in my opinion. Once you can get to the ship, defending it is not an issue for her. Her detection comes out real early, whether it's through Nova or through Ravens, especially if you're using P1. S to A.
Okay, so Nova is blonder than Kerrigan this week. Let's move on. Oh, wait, Prestige. Third one or first one?
First one.
First
it's
one.
it's not really a clearing map. You know, it's very easy to clear the objectives. So.
Okay,
Oh, and shotgun is nice for all the little infested.
shotgun
Makes
is
it easier
nice.
on your Liberators.
And for the mines, you can just use the Raven turret, so it's not really necessary to go third Prestige. Anyway, so let's move on. Raynor, where do we have him?
Raynor has problems with detection. You can say, but he has orbital commands. No, yeah, you don't want to be using the scans from orbital commands early unless you're P1. You can do that, but either way, you only have a limited supply of energy for scans, and there's a good amount of mines around. So you got to be very smart on how you deploy that. With that being said, even if you can scan it and you are playing P1, you can say, oh, Marauders have that extra range to deal with mines. You got to be very careful. You approach mines at the wrong angle, and they will go after your bio. And it doesn't take much for a minefield to decimate your bio ball. So yeah, Raynor, I think regardless of what procedure you use, he's going to struggle with this, and he's definitely C to D tier.
C to D. What do you think, Edpenhome?
Yeah, I don't think it'd be fantastic. I had him in C tier. I was actually thinking about B because every other commander has enough detection to clear the mines. So as long as you get anyone who can clear the mines for you, then you could kind of just go like mass air. The Banshees with the straight line fire are pretty good against infested. But if you do have an ally that's not helping you clear the mines and things like that, it's going to be pretty rough. So I had him in C tier.
Okay, both of you are okay with C. Let's put Raynor in C. Prestige-wise,
1 or 3, I'd
1
say.
or 3. Okay. Stet Boy, where do we have him?
Stetmann is another S for me. He's got Lings who don't care about the large damage from mines. He has Super Gary to detect at all times and can also clear the mines quite well. And he's got heal zones, so he doesn't care too much about lava burst between heal zone and the Zerglings taking reduced damage. And them being so fast, they can just walk out of the way, and you get a refund on them. So he's pretty darn good. I'd say S tier.
What do you think, Eveling?
Yep, obvious S to me.
Obvious S.
Stetlings are pretty much the MVP of this. So
Sure, yeah, I can agree with that. Stet Boys, Zerglings are pretty good, and they can just aggro all the mines. Okay, let's put Stet Boy in S tier. Prestige-wise, you want the second one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Stukov, where do we have him?
Stukov, he can blindly mine clear by having his infested just walk forward. So that'll take care of a lot of spider mines, but you do have to account for the widow mines. So yeah, it would be mostly standard affair with Stukov, with detection built having to provide detection either through overseers, but definitely opt for getting your brood queens out, so that way you can just attach ocular symbiote and don't have to put your detection at risk from being sniped out by Widow Mines or whatnot. So STA.
S2A. What do you think, Edmund?
Yeah, he's either A tier if you're the random Q person who doesn't know how to make a starport, or S tier if you're able to make brood queens. Brood queens are very good for detection, but the fungal growth on the brood queens is also just very good against the infested, and they have a very rapid energy regen. You
I've
do want to
never
be a little
used-
careful.
I've never used
It's
fungal.
good. It's
I'll
good,
take you.
I
I'll take your
swear.
word for it. I'll take your word for it.
All three of the brood queen's abilities are really quite good. You have the single target to take out the banshee, and then you have
Is someone
fungal, and then you
laughing at
have
me? Oh my daddy. Oh.
But yeah, the one thing you want to keep an eye out for is that your stream of infested isn't just walking straight into a lava burst on its way to the objective and dying instantly, because that can happen. I've seen it happen. And then you're like, why is the ship dying? I have 30 bunkers. And it's because not a single Marine ever made it there. So just be a little careful with that, but I would say S tier.
Okay. What do you think, Eveling?
Yeah, I said STA.
Oh, sorry. Let's put Stukov in S tier. I'm a little concerned about the lava burst picking off your infested before they reach there, as Edwin said. But I guess it is easy if you play competently, as we expect here in tier list. Let's move on. Swann, where do we have him?
And also just make a lot of brood queens. Make like 15 brood queens, and it won't be too big of a deal because they can keep the defense going, and then you have your call downs. But anyways,
You heard it here, guys. 15 brood queens before your first bunker.
Yeah, that's what I said. Word for word. Exact quote. Swann, he's not perfect because his wraiths are going to tend to do a lot of overkill, but he does have air units in the form of wraiths. You could even go some tanks, and you can even make a couple turrets. Similarly to Minsk, the likelihood of the lava burst actually hitting the turrets isn't incredibly high. And obviously you do have laser drill. You could go P1 or P2 here, really. Probably P1 because, again, this isn't about big bursts of damage. It's about defending a ship for 2 minutes at a time. So, I mean, it's helpful still to have the top bars, but I don't think it's as essential. But he's pretty good. He's not quite S for me. I had him in A tier.
Okay. What do you think, Eveling?
Oh, wait.
Oh, sorry.
Science Vessels and Irradiate is also very good. I forgot about that. So, yes, A tier.
Yes. What do you think, Eveling?
I have Swann from S to A. You can play mass factories, and even if the lava burst catches them, they have a lot of health on them. And even if they go down, you just send in more. As long as you make sure to have your economy set up. Wraiths are really, really good against this. If you have detection on the mines, then cloak and wraiths just air mines, no problem.
How do you
Having,
get detection all the way to the ship before the mines exploded?
So usually you should be trying to get your science vessels out early. If not, if you can spot the pockmark, then try to bring at least 3 SCVs, 4 SCVs, and try to fast build a missile turret, spinning dizzy there, and that hopefully that gets you the detection that you need to clear it. If not, then oh well, goodbye ship or ally, please deal with this.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That sounds like an S to me, but you guys decided to go A tier? A tier for both of you, right?
A tier.
Okay, let's put SWAT in A tier. I'm not sure I'm entirely sold on A because I've tried getting science vessels. Sometimes they just kind of float in weird directions. But anyway, it's not my opinion. It doesn't matter. Tychus, where do we have him?
Tychus. So Sirius is really good against dealing with mines. So for the most part, it's going to be a standard affair for Sirius. You definitely can just run P2 on this and for the most part, it'll play mostly like a regular game. You'd be mostly concerned about lava bursts.
Yes.
In my opinion, Tychus is just going to be STA.
Okay. What do you think, Edmund?
Yeah, I had Tychus in S. You can clear with Sirius, and then once you don't need the detection as much anymore, Blaze, just oil spill, and wow, the next 2 minutes are done. So I had him in S tier.
All right. Prestige-wise, you want the third one, right?
You could go P2 or P3 or P0, really. I don't think there's a huge benefit to going P0 because you don't need a nuke in this. There's no giant attack waves or anything like that. So just having the permanent Odin there's nice.
Right.
And then you can just heal as long as you're keeping an eye. It's not a huge army, right? So dodging lava bursts isn't too difficult, and revitalizers can just heal through it all. So
yeah. Okay. I'm glad I'm not crazy. So Tychus, S tier, third prestige, or second if you really want to, but I think third is better. Vorazun, where do we have him?
Vorazun, I had in C tier as well. She doesn't have really good detection. Her air isn't really very good here. And then her ground is not the best either. It's okay. The infested don't do great against Dark Templar, but the ground constantly being on fire against melee units or melee spellcasters. But the problem with melee spellcasters in this situation is, again, it's 2 minutes long. You don't get to just e-click the attack wave and it's done for the next 30 seconds until it's off cooldown again. Shadow Fury, you need a little more often than that. So I had her in C tier.
What do you think, Eviling?
I don't think Vorazun is that low. I mean, for minor evacuation, most people would just it's a chance to go void rays on this, and yes, the widow mines are an issue, but with oracles, they are not the greatest detection, but they're cloaked, and if the widow mines are not supported by any other forms of detection, your oracles can actually deal with the minefields. So Corsairs are really good at delaying the ships. I mean, fundamentally, if you have enough Corsairs, you don't even have to kill the infestor. You just keep on laying down disruption webs.
That works too.
And and you can do stasis wards too. And then the only threat at that point is the Banshees, but it's Corsairs, so they melt. Especially if you have a lot of Corsairs, they're going to melt the Banshees. So that is at that point your biggest threat is going to be the lava burst. But with enough air, it's not that big of a issue. She's definitely not A, but I mean not S or A, but definitely I don't know about C. I'm more leaning toward putting her in that empty space in B.
What do you think about B, Edmund Home?
That's fine by me. It's okay. Yeah, B.
Okay. I was thinking similar to how Kerrigan clears mines with immobilization wave. Vorazun to a lesser extent can also clear mines using time stop with Shadow Guard and their army. If I were to do this as Vorazun, I would drop time stop, send the Shadow Guard in, of course, switch off the autocast on void stasis so that you can destroy turrets instead of just disabling them temporarily. Then once you find space, put down a dark pylon, recall your void rays, then clear everything. You can even add a probe or two, so you can build your cybernetics core wall. That's what I would do, but again, I'm not that good here. Let's put Vorazun in B. She has one prestige, the third one. We're going third prestige, right? We're not going for second prestige shenanigans. Right?
No, I don't think
It doesn't matter.
All right.
I don't think it matters at that point.
Yeah.
Okay. Vorazun B tier. Zagara. Where do we have him?
Zagara, so she usually has problems with minor evacuation, just trying to logistically get your army to that point, and kind of the Stukov issue. If there's lava bursts at a choke point, which they almost always will have one. You're going to lose your army even before getting to the ship. Or so your best bet is actually going to be bio launchers. So you secure your expo, and then you kind of do lower range Manx play, and you can cover, I guess, a good amount of the ships, not all the ships, but yeah. And then the last ships that are out of range, you're just going to have to either figure out how to get your army there and preserve it and to defend the ship enough so that it gets through the timer.
Letter.
For me, B to C.
B to C. What do you think, Edwin?
Yeah, I think maybe you're just going what is it, P2 aberrations here, since they're a little bit smaller of an army, longer lasting, so to speak. The banelings, right? It's the 2-minute thing. It doesn't matter if banelings can clear the first super easy and the second wave super easy. It's just a constant flood. You just have to be careful with lava bursts, and yeah, I mean, obviously bio launchers where you can, but I think there's a couple different spots where they're not going to be able to help as much unless you build a few out there. But then you're playing the game of dice. But I think aberrations will do all right. Corruptors obviously do pretty well against. There's not a whole lot of air. You just need a few corruptors to deal with the banshees, and it shouldn't be terrible.
Or just
So
hunter
I'd
killers.
say
Yeah.
yes, or just hunter killers. That's true as well. Yeah, I think B is where I'd put her.
Okay. Zagara B. Zeratul. What do we have him?
Zeratul's pretty darn good. You just go cannons. Yeah, you might lose a couple here and not lose a couple, but lose a couple projections here and there to lava bursts. But you have enough to just lay down a few more and a few more. Just make sure you space them out instead of putting them all together. Just leave like a 1-tile gap between each if you want to be extra careful. And then at most you can lose like 1 to a lava burst, which isn't bad. So S tier.
S tier. What do you think, Eviling?
Yeah, this is definitely a case where cannon's good. So, S.
S tier.
Yeah, solid S for Zeratul.
Solid S. All right. Do we have a double S?
I mean, surely there's so many S's, right? I'd probably say the 2 strongest S are like Stetmann's obviously very, very good. I think Nova is really good because, again, you just sit everything except Nova in an area where they don't even have to worry about 2 of the mutators, and she's very good at clearing the mines. So I'd probably say Nova is double S for me.
Double S?
Yeah, I mean, you build liberators and you siege them up, and then you look away for 2 minutes. Basically,
it's not as easy as a regular brutal. You still do have to care about the mutators. I mean, it's not super difficult because she's S, but
Kerrigan naturally takes care of the mutators. You have a detection Kerrigan and Ravens regardless, right? Like
Kerrigan?
You're building the exact same, or not Kerrigan Nova. You're building the exact same unit comp you normally would, basically, and you're just killing a few extra units.
Well, so are you for like most of these commanders.
That's true. That's true. But like Stukov, for example, you have to be pretty careful with, and Tychus, you're having to be a little more careful with. You're not just sitting in the airspace, literally ignoring 2 out of the 3 mutators, and then just kind of moving through the other one. I'm not saying it has to be. I'm saying if anyone would be, for me, it's probably Nova. I don't know. Eviling, your opinion?
My opinion would be Nova would be the top of S, then Stukov, between Stukov and Tychus, and then the candidates for double S would be, for me, would be Karax, Manx, Stetmann, and Zeratul.
Why?
So, Karax, space lasers, mines ain't gonna do anything to that. That it's like clearing power without putting any army at risk. Manx, clearing power with and defensive power with contaminated strikes without putting any army at risk. Stetmann's lings don't care about the mines and kind of don't really care about the other mutators because of recycling. Stetmann, the Super Gary himself is like super tanky, so I almost don't care. And whole stat zones help you and your ally in terms of sustaining. Zeratul, cannon's good.
What do you think, Edmund Home? Is that double S?
For me with Karax, it's, I mean, normally on this map, at least for me, I'm building cannons out by the ships and then also using top bar, right? Where you can't really do that as much because you're going to get lava bursted. You could build a couple, but you build too many, you're probably just going to get a lot of them lost to lava burst. So it's a little different. I mean, you could probably win without doing that anyways, right? So I guess it kind of counts. I could see Stetmann. I think I said Nova and Stetmann would be my two candidates. So if we both agree on Stetmann being double S, that works for me.
Wow, we're gonna have a double S. Okay. All right, so yeah, we're gonna have a double S this week. So Stetboy is officially the blondest commander this week. Who's the top of S?
I guess Karax.
Then
And then I would say Nova above Zeratul personally, but
like this.
yeah, and then probably Minsk, then Tychus, then Stukov.
Yep.
All right.
I agree. Stukov
Bottom
at
of
the bottom
S.
because just of the
Who's
funneling issue.
top of A? I agree.
Dehaka, I think.
Dehaka?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I can see why. I was like, but what about early detection? What about early detection? Oh, early detection. It seems like almost every one of these guys, except Phoenix and Han and Horner, has early detection questions. Not necessarily problems, but questions. So
Yes.
not a clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say what you need to do is rename that tier to like what I'm about to put in the chat. That would be A tier this week.
I'm not doing that, but thank you for that, Sam. Okay.
But yeah, I mean that's basically the separator from S and A this week is like, can you get early easy detection really? And they can't.
Ed Bohemi wants
see?
me to do
There.
this.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
Yeah, I think Dehaka's top, and then Stukov maybe.
Stukov? We're doing Stukov to A tier?
One. I was looking at S Commander and grabbed the wrong one out of my brain. Swann. Swann would be second, and then
why not Kerrigan?
maybe Phoenix. I mean, oh yeah, Kerrigan's pretty darn good. I'd go Kerrigan, I guess. Yeah, below or maybe above Swann. I don't know. That's up to Eveling.
I think going with that theme of early detection, I mean, following the Dehaka would, in my opinion, make sense for either Phoenix or Han and Horner to follow that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Like this?
Yeah.
And then?
Yep.
And the Kerrigan above Swann, I guess.
Then?
I think that's about right.
That's about right? All right. Who's top of B tier?
Vorazun, I think.
Vorazun?
Yep.
All right. And then Zagara. Who's top of C tier?
Probably Artanis.
Artanis.
Guardians.
Raynor.
Oh yeah.
Andor.
Definitely Artanis.
Definitely Artanis.
It's Raynor's fault for having crappy detection means.
Yeah.
How do you buff Raynor for this mutation, so that he wouldn't be the worst? He wouldn't be the worst anymore.
Some kind of line detection
scans
permanent
separated.
Scans are on a timer, but they don't cost energy. You know.
Yes. Make it separate from the mule energy, so you don't have to choose between scans and mules. Or another idea would be like how he has supply depot drops. You can drop missile turrets.
Drop missile turrets.
So you don't have to wait.
Like insta build, I think he means.
Insta build missile turrets.
Or give
not like a top bar, but Like your SCV just walks up, touches it, and it builds instantly.
Give a
Kinda like,
siege tank 75 range.
yeah.
All right. Okay, so guys, that's the tiers for this week. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. If you have an idea for it also, please leave it in a comment. I will see you guys next time.